As someone who spent years trying to look like I had it all together while dragging this noisy, hungry ache behind my ribs, I get why this topic makes you want to click away. But you're here for a reason, right? And I don't want to blame you if you don't enjoy this video, if I don't resonate with you, if you don't like my neck tattoos, the fact that I have a tongue ring. I mean, go ahead and leave it in the comments, let me know. But I just want to take a minute because I think that this might be the one conversation that you've been avoiding that changes everything for you. And by the end of this video, I hope that you feel two things. Clarity, number one, on what exactly your inner child is, without all the fluffy therapy talk, and the courage to do one small thing today that will start the healing that you've been putting off for decades. So let me stumble through this in the same way that I stumbled through my own healing. It was clumsy, honest, and out of breath, right? When I was a kid, I learned a couple rules that worked in the moment, but they wrecked me as a man. My marriage, for instance, done. Some of those rules were don't need anything, don't let anybody ever see you cry, make yourself useful so they keep you, and if you mess up, fix it fucking fast or pretend it never happened. And that strategy, it looks impressive. Like, sure, in the boardroom, it looks tough in the gym. It looks noble when you're paying the bills and you're keeping the roof tight, right? But what it actually does is it welds an armor over a wound. And then you wonder why you can't feel love through steel. Does that make sense? And here's what I mean by inner child. In plain language, guys, it's the part of you that formed a map of the world before you even had a mustache, before you had a business, before you even had your first heartbreak. When love and safety were a moving target, that little version of you figured out how to survive in a house, in a neighborhood, in a church, a school, in chaos. And he never stopped running those plays. And now you're 40, 50, 60, whatever, and you're still running the 6-year-old's playbook. Perform for approval, disappear when conflict shows up, explode when you feel concerned, or numb out, right? How many of you are numbing out when it just feels like too much? You call it being just wired this way. I'm just wired this way. It's just who I am. But it's not wiring. In a way, it's wiring, it's programming. But deep down, it's a kid with a megaphone inside your chest saying, please do not leave me again. And why must you heal him? Because unhealed stuff does not politely just go away, right? It does not just stay in a storage unit. It runs your company and it signs your name on bad deals. It chooses partners that you can rescue, but deep down never trust. Guilty. And it makes you overpromise. Under rest, right? You don't get enough rest. You scroll at 1 a.m. and you buy things that you don't need to prove something that no one's really grading. It's why a comment from your wife about trash bags feels like an indictment of your worth. And why your son's eye rolls detonates a week of silent treatment. Or why your employees, why your team thinks you're a genius at 10 a.m. and a fucking grenade at 4. The inner child it's more than just a cute metaphor. He's the original CEO of your nervous system. And if you don't heal this guy, he will keep protecting you from a past that's already over by blowing up your present. That's the cost. And I wish I could say this beautifully or neatly, but I've never really been that great with words, and I think that's okay because the truth, it came messy to me too. So let me just blurt this out the way it wants to come out. You cannot outperform a wound that you will not look at. Think about it, okay? You've tried every way around it. More discipline, more reps, more podcasts, more, I'm just going to be better tomorrow. More porn, more bourbon, more long hours, more silent treatments, more apologies with no plans. More responses like, I'm fine, or it's nothing, or whatever. Healing your inner child is what stops that cycle. Not because we're going to build a shrine to our childhood, but because we're finally going to let the most scared part of you stop driving the bus. Now, I'm not a religious guy, so I'm not handing you a verse and a hug and calling it a day, but there are some true things that human beings have noticed for thousands of years, no matter what tradition they came from. Shame thrives in secrecy. That naming a thing gives you power to reshape it. That compassion isn't weakness. That truth burns, but it purifies. And presence, man, being present heals faster than performance. I guarantee it. If you grew up hearing some of that in a church or a temple or wherever, then cool. Keep the wisdom, but lose the baggage. I had a guy tell me after a few weeks of coaching that I finally understand why I've been angry all the time. Can you understand how much power is inside of that clarity? He says, I don't feel like that anymore. He didn't grow a halo. He learned to hear the younger version of him banging on the pipes. He went downstairs to check it instead of turning up the TV. And one of the strongest men in our circle, he said that the nightmares finally got quiet for the first time in 4 fucking decades. Another said that he went from giving up to I have a purpose, not because life got easier, but because he stopped abandoning the little boy that he used to be. The work is simpler than your fear wants you to believe too. It's not easy. Don't get me wrong. It's not easy, but it's so simple. And so many of us avoid it. Okay, so here's the path. Okay, the way that I walk it and the way that I teach it in my coaching, the way that I teach it in the community on school, I'm just going to tell you like it is. Like we're two brothers driving down a late night drive, right? With the windows cracked. Okay, our minds are clear. Just think about this for a second. First, I want you to name the moment that the map was drawn. You don't need a whole movie montage, just a snapshot, okay? The kitchen where you learned to read faces like a bomb technician. The bedroom where the yelling sounded like weather. The car ride where your tears made someone roll their eyes. Freeze frame that shit and then ask, what did that kid decide about himself to survive in that moment? Now, usually it's something like, I'm too much, or I'm not enough. I'm unlovable unless I produce something. Love leaves, anger keeps me safe, needs are dangerous. Something like that. And you're going to feel it in your gut when you hit the one that still is running your life right now. And second, okay, put it into your mouth. Say it out loud. Privately if you need to, whatever, just start, okay? It's going to sound dumb, like you're talking to yourself, and you're probably going to hate it, and that's good, okay? Say it anyways. I decided love leaves, so I leave first. Bam. I decided if I make myself useful, they won't throw me away. Or I decided anger is safer than sadness. Or, whatever it is. When you say it out loud, just pay attention to what your body does. Does your chest get tight? Does your breath, your breathing get shallow? That's all good data, okay? Now, third, biology is on your side. This is where guys will either roll their eyes or they finally get free. Okay, you pay attention. You can't think your way out of a nervous system pattern. It's not possible. You have to change your physiology before you can change your psychology. You have to show your body safety. Breath that lengthens your exhale. So try box breathing while you pace the driveway. Or cold water on your face. A 10-minute walk before you send the next text. 5 minutes of writing something raw, unfiltered thoughts, like letting it all out of your head without judging it. Guys, these are not hacks. They are the language that your survival brain understands. So speak that language. Now, fourth, you write a new rule, but not like a cheesy affirmation that you don't believe in. Write a rule that costs you something real, and it proves to your younger self that the adult is here. that he's safe. He doesn't have to live that anymore. So I don't raise my voice when I feel small. I take space and name the real fear. Or I don't chase when I feel abandoned. I ground myself, then I ask for what I want. Or I don't buy my way out of shame. I sit in my shame and then I make amends. And then, you guys, this is where most men sabotage themselves. Okay, pay attention here. You practice the new rule in low stakes first. You don't wait until you're in marital DEFCON 1 or whatever to try to first calm your breath and then set a clean boundary. You start with the barista who got your order wrong, or your kid who forgot his shoes, the coworker who misses a detail. Rehearse being the adult in these situations, like being the adult that you wish you had, not the cop that you feared or the ghost that you learned from. Now, fifth, you guys, stop doing it alone. Listen, I am a quiet dude by nature. I don't like talking. I would rather lift, think, read, fix the thing myself, put my head down, just get through it. And it's exactly that lone wolf energy that kept me stuck, that destroyed my marriage. Men heal in the presence of other honest men. Yes, it's uncomfortable, but it's medicine. Our community on school is literally built for this. Real guys taking their masks off. We're doing weekly calls. We're doing practical tools. It's not a guru pedestal stuff, okay? I'm in there with you guys. This is just a room where our shame has fewer places to hide. And the link is in the description if you want in, okay? It's free. No charge. Nothing going on there. Just a lot of learning, a lot of healing. Come as you are and leave that polished version bullshit behind. There was a guy that just recently joined, and he messaged me. He says he finally feels like he can breathe again. And another guy, he said his kid hugged him after a school concert, and he actually felt the hug like in his body. And it wasn't performance. It wasn't a duty thing. He said he doesn't remember the last time that happened. Now, I can't promise that's how it's going to be for you, but I can promise a space where you can make that happen. Okay, number 6, you repair without performing. And this one hurts, but it has an opportunity to free you. You stop saying sorry to make the tension go away. And you start making amends because you chose to be somebody different. An apology is proof. It's a receipt. Amends is a transfer. And you sit across from your wife and you say, I've been reacting like a scared little boy who thinks love is leaving, and I'm done outsourcing my peace to your mood. Here's my new rule. This is what I'm going to commit to. Here's how you're going to know that I'm keeping it. And here's how I'll make it right when I blow it up. You can literally watch the respect come back to her eyes, you guys. When a man speaks that plainly without defensiveness and then does the reps, it's magic. Now, 7th, you make room for joy on purpose. And I don't mean the fake type of joy that you're putting up on your Facebook or your Instagram. I mean the kind that sneaks up on you when you're washing your truck or grilling in the cold or walking at sunrise, going for a hike in the mountains, and your chest starts to warm like you remembered something that's true. And you guys, that's not corny. That's your nervous system learning a new baseline where calm isn't suspicious and love doesn't feel like it's a setup. And if you're listening to me and you're thinking, yeah, that's good and all, but my story is so much darker than you think. What you're describing right now is fucking cookies and rainbows compared to what I went through. And first of all, I'm sorry. I'm not going to minimize you. Second, the darker the story, the more urgent the healing, because unhealed pain becomes inherited pain. And I refuse to hand my son or my daughter, future daughter, I don't have a daughter yet, I refuse to hand them a weight that wasn't theirs. And if you don't have kids, fine, whatever. I just want you to know there's guys that are in this circle that I've done one-to-one coaching with that have been through the thick of it, like the worst of the worst. So you're not alone. There was a guy in this circle, he told me, he said that this work saved his life. Not because he never feels that old pull anymore, but because now he knows what to do in the first 10 minutes after his trigger hits. And that window, you guys, is where futures change. It's where you put the phone down and you breathe. It's like going for a walk outside instead of just pushing yourself through a line. It's where you text somebody, hey, I'm spinning. Give me a mirror. Help me. And then he hits back with, you know what? Name it, own it, breathe, pause. Here's your new rule, right? Instill that. And then you do it. And then you come back to yourself. And I want to say one more thing. I'm probably going to fumble through it, but here it is, you guys. The point of healing your inner child is not to become soft. It's to become solid. The most grounded leaders that I know, they do not leak their emotions on everyone that they lead. They don't lock them in a vault. They have a high EQ. They know how to feel. And they say what they mean. They keep their commitments. They rest when they're tired, and they love. Like when they actually love, they repair quickly and then they get back to work. And that's masculinity with a spine. That's being able to express your emotions. That's being able to be vulnerable without losing your masculinity. You're not a statue. You're a human. You're a man. Now, the reason that you must heal too, by the way, it's not just for you. It's for every single room that you walk into. It's for the tone of your house at 8:00 at night. It's for the way that your daughter learns what safety feels like. So then she attracts that type of partner in her future. Or the way that your son learns that power, like real masculine power, not the toxic traditional kind that you might be thinking of right now, but your son, he will learn like that power can be gentle. Or the way that your team learns that excellence and kindness are not the opposite. And for you personally, it's so you can finally stop living like a hired gun in your own life and you can relax into being the owner. So here's how you start today. Not next Monday, not after the busy season is over, not after your wife finally changes first. I want you to do this right now. Pick one memory that still stings and write one sentence. The rule that I wrote to survive in this moment was blank. And then breathe like a grown fucking man who can carry weight, who can do a slow inhale and a long exhale 3 times, and then text someone who's safe in your circle and say, I'm practicing a new rule. And then keep a tiny promise before bed. And that's it, you guys. Start there. If you want help, my offer is simple here. I do this one-to-one with men who are done pretending. There's a link in the description to grab a free call. No pressure. Just 2 dudes sorting what's real. And if you're not a one-to-one guy, you want a whole group, you want a bunch of brothers to work with, jump into the school community. That link is also below. We do keep it selective, but we keep it real. Okay, so again, weekly live calls, practical reps, real tools, real accountability, and yes, actual connection where you can be pissed, you can be sad, you can be proud, you can be safe, all in the same hour. You don't have to earn your seat in that room. You just have to take it. I'm offering it for you. Do you want it? It's yours. Now, you guys, I know I'm not the smoothest talker. If you made it this far, I appreciate it. I'm just trying to be real with you. I'm trying to be useful. I'm trying to give back to the world a little bit. And I want to leave you with this because maybe you need permission like I did. You're not too late. You're not broken beyond repair. You're a man who has learned to survive, and now you're choosing to live. And if you let the kid in you hand like the reins to the man you're going to be dangerous in the best way. Steady and present and powerful in quiet ways. The kind of man whose presence like lowers the temperature in a room. The kind who doesn't flinch at truth. The kind who loves with his whole fucking chest ripped open and holds the line for what really matters. And yes, you're still going to get triggered sometimes. I do. We all do. And that's fine. Triggers are training if you face them on purpose. So practice turns into peace after enough that it starts to feel like home. And when it does, you won't need to chase respect anymore. You're going to be respect. All right, guys, if this hit you anywhere real, I want you to stay with me, okay? Because the YouTube algorithm is going to throw another video up on your screen. It knows what you've been wrestling with. It's probably something like how to stop reacting or how to rebuild trust or how to set a boundary without blowing up, whatever it is. Treat it like the next rep, okay? It's your next brick. Take it and stack it. And when you're ready for a real conversation, the links are in the description. I'll see you there.